this video, we cover the following topics. Cheesecloth is a lightweight, loosely woven cotton fabric with a gauzy texture, traditionally used in cheesemaking to strain, drain, and wrap curds. The cheesecloth collects the thicker mass of the cheese or curd, which is traditionally hung to remove excess moisture or whey. Do you recall the nursery rhyme that goes, "Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, eating her curds and whey, along came a spider, who sat down beside her, and frightened Miss Muffet away." Without a cheesecloth to separate the curd from the whey, the resulting dish would be similar to what we call cottage cheese today. Unlike most cheeses, with cottage cheese, the curd remains with the whey. This may imply that Miss Muffet didn't have any cheesecloth, or perhaps snuck some of the cheese before it was fully processed, but was scared away by the spider before she could enjoy the spoils. In this first example, a piece of cheesecloth is cut. Then while the wash is wet, the cheesecloth is applied to the paper. Make sure that the cheesecloth is in contact with the paper. Because the mesh is absorbent, it's also possible to charge on top of the mesh to produce a different effect. The fiber in cheesecloth will absorb watercolor. This has the capacity to create interesting mesh-like patterns and textures with watercolor. When applied to a wet wash, the dry cheesecloth will absorb the water and pigment in the wash and hold it there. As it dries, what remains is a lighter wash around the areas that were in contact with the cheesecloth. Cheesecloth may also be submerged in paint and allowed to absorb watercolor paint. The cheesecloth can then be placed wet onto dry paper. Then it's dried. This wet and dry alternative produces a different effect than the dry and wet method. Beyond culinary uses, cheesecloth is also employed in various arts, crafts, and household applications, such as straining liquids, polishing surfaces, or adding texture to paintings. By adjusting the pressure or removing the cheesecloth at different stages of drying, artists can achieve varying levels of texture and detail. Cheesecloth is particularly effective for adding depth and interest to landscapes, abstract pieces, or backgrounds, offering an easy way to introduce intricate patterns without fine brushwork. Its flexibility allows it to be shaped, layered, or twisted, providing endless opportunities for experimentation and enhancing the visual richness of a composition. Comprehensive Watercolor isn't just a book, it's a companion for your artistic journey. With detailed explanations, visual examples, and hundreds of videos, it meets you wherever you are in your watercolor adventure. Discover how watercolor works, why it behaves the way it does, and how you can harness its unique qualities to create stunning art. Comprehensive Watercolor offers a clear, approachable guide to mastering this beautiful medium. Take the next step in your watercolor journey and get your copy of Comprehensive Watercolor today. You'll find the links to purchase in the description below. Choosing the right watercolor supplies can feel overwhelming, but the Ultimate Watercolor Product Guide has you covered. Packed with recommendations, tips, and insights, this guide helps you navigate the art supply aisle with confidence, so you can focus on creating. This free guide accompanies the book Comprehensive Watercolor, an interactive guide for learning to paint with watercolor. Download your free copy of the Ultimate Watercolor Product Guide today by clicking the link located in the video description below or visiting mandikins.com. Thank you for watching. Tap the archer to subscribe and the bell to be notified when I post new content. To continue your watercolor journey, click a video from one of the playlists above.